I'm not teaching, I'm publicly learning, but hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 46, the Reformation in Scotland and Mary, Queen of Scots. That is on page 25 by doing lunch training, and if you participate in this lunch training, it is at your own risk. So the title is already a bit complicated to read. The Reformation in Scotland and Mary, Queen of Scots. Scots. And let's read first shortly what is written here in these quotation marks about Queen Elizabeth I. And that is, Elizabeth became one of the most popular monarchs in English history, particularly after 1588, when the English defeated the Spanish Armada. Let's remember that. So Queen Elizabeth I became very popular, in particular after her soldiers commanded by her defeated the Spanish Armada in... How battle was named? Defeated the Spanish Armada. So the Reformation has something to do with religion, we know it. At the same time, so in the time that during the divorce of his first wife of King Henry VIII from Catherine of Aragon, the Reformation spread across Europe, and that was a movement against the authority of the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. The people then, after they were Protestants, they read the Bible in their own language, and they did not pray to saints, or not so much. I'm not sure if it is exclusive. They did not pray to saints, not at all. I'm not sure if not at all, but okay. And at shrines, and they believe that their personal relationship with God is more important than to submit to the church. The Reformation in Scotland and Mary, Queen of Scots. Mary is the second child of King Henry VIII, and Mary is the child of Anne Boleyn, his first wife, which he executed. And Mary was... I mixed it again up. Mary was the second child to become the monarch, but Mary was the first child of him, and Mary was Catholic, with his wife, Catherine of Aragon. So, Mary, Queen of Scots. Scots. Now, she is Mary, Queen of Scots. No, I'm not going to speculate further on it here. Not that at the end of the day we're talking about another Mary. We know about a Mary who is the Bloody Mary, and she is the first child of King Henry VIII. She was Catholic, her mother was Catherine of Aragon. She was the second child of King Henry to enter the throne. So we have now Mary, Queen of Scots. We will see if it is the same Mary or another Mary. Let's start with a lunch training. We are having relaxed standing wide apart. We're breathing in and out, and again in, and out, again in, and out. And we're closing the legs, and we're doing the six-pack squat squeeze. So we're going into quarter squat, and we're pressing with the hands against the upper part of the leg. And we're doing this with quite a lot of effort. And now we're doing the same on the other leg. Again, with quite a lot of effort. Now we're going down into half squat, and we're pressing at the middle part of the leg. And on the other side, against the middle part of the leg. And on the other leg, close to the knee. And on the other side. And that was the first exercise. Let's do directly the second one. The fastest giraffe of the water bot. We're going down into three-quarter squat, and we're pressing with the hands against the knee, and we're going towards the knee. And again, we're pressing against the knee, and we're going towards the knee. And on the other side, press against the knee, and go towards the knee. And the last round. And now let's look what Mary we're talking of. Scotland had also been strongly influenced by Protestant ideas. Nothing into Scotland so far. Protestant ideas gradually gained strength in England, Wales and Scotland during the 16th century. So Scotland had also been strongly influenced by Protestant ideas. So I guess the ideas of reading the Bible in a language which could be understood by the person, not to pray to saints or shrines, and that the personal relationship with God is more important than submitting to the church. In 1560, now that is 13 years after King Henry VIII died, and we know that for 6 years Edward was king, and then we know, but after that, so King Edward VI was king from 1547 until 1553, when there was a time when Mary was queen, Bloody Mary, and then we have a time when Elizabeth was queen, and that was at least in 1588, when the Spanish Armada was defeated. But now we're 28 before that. So we are now in 1560, 28 before the Armada, the fleet of the British fleet commanded by Queen Elizabeth, destroyed the Spanish Armada. In 1560, the predominantly Protestant Scottish Parliament abolished the authority of the Pope in Scotland, and Roman Catholic religious services became illegal. So in 1560, I think we're actually talking about Mary. No, I'm not sure. Maybe there's something else. So in 1560, the mostly Protestant Scottish Parliament, so Scotland was Protestant, abolished the authority of the Pope, so they did not no longer that the Pope had something to say in Scotland. So the mostly Protestant Scottish Parliament declared that the Pope no longer has something to say in Scotland. And Roman Catholic religious services became illegal. So in church there was I don't know all the proper terms, but the priest, I guess, was no longer allowed to hold a Roman Catholic sermon. The next exercise. We are doing the propeller. We're going down into a full squat. The arms to the outside, going down to the side, and then pressing against the leg and looking up to the other hand. And we're having a little bend in the elbow. And in the middle. Over to the other side. Press against again. The leg. And in the middle. And up. Now into 90-90 lunge. And we're pressing with the hand against the knee and we turn up with the back. And on the other side. And press against the knee, return up with the back. And now on the other side. Now 91 and 45-degree lunge. And we're pulling at the leg, we're pulling the leg up. Over to the other side. And we again turn up with the back. And pulling the leg. And over to the other side again. 91 and 45-degree lunge. Turn up with the back. And we're pulling a bit underneath the knee at the top of the shin bone. And on the other side. Turn up with the back. And then with the foot. And this is intense, but fast. Last exercise into full lunge. Turn up with the back, and we're pulling again underneath the knee. Okay. On the other side, full lunge. And we're pulling a little bit underneath the knee. The new exercises. We are stretching now. One leg with heel onto the ground and we're pulling a little bit the toes up. And the other leg with the heel onto the ground. Now we're having the legs standing a bit more and shoulder wide apart. We're coming up and bringing the arms up. And out, we're leaning back and opening the chest to the sky. Breathe again in. And out and we're leaning again back. The crab in the morning is this. Breathe again in. Close the legs. And out, and now we're leaning back. Feet and hands closed. And breathe again in. And out. Again, in, into the middle, breathe in. And out, we're doing the down diving swan. Now bend the right leg. Now bring the heel of the left leg to the left. And turn with the body also to the left. Now bring the toes of the left leg to the left and turn with the body to the right. And now straighten the right leg and bend the left one. Bring the heel of the right leg to the right and turn with the body to the right. Now bring the toes of the right leg to the right and turn with the body to the left. Close both feet and stretch both legs at the same time. Breathing in and out. We're doing the up diving swan, closing the hands. And we're just doing the closing exercise. We're breathing in and out. Again in and out. The last round in and out. And close the legs. And let's look what we can do in the last 3 minutes about the Reformation in Scotland and Queen Mary of the Scots. So in 1560 the Protestantistic Scottish Parliament abolished the authority of the Pope and declared Catholic sermons for illegal. A Protestant Church of Scotland with an elected leadership was established, but, unlike in England, this was not a state church. So there was a Church of Scotland. It was a Protestant Church of Scotland. And it had an elected leadership, but differently from what it was in England, it was not a state church. Okay, well, there was a Church of Scotland, a Protestant Church of Scotland, with a leadership, but differently from England, it was not a state church. The Queen of Scotland, Mary Stuart, often called Mary, Queen of Scots, was a Catholic. So the Queen of Scotland had a queen. So that can't be the Bloody Mary. It's not so easy to find it out because they oftentimes just go on to the next part, but that part belongs to the one before. I want to recall the time that we had talked about the Black Death. We were talking about labor shortages and of people demanding higher wages just in the next sentences. And we have no idea if it had anything to do now with the Black Death in 1358 or not. Now we're talking about Mary, Queen of Scots, and I'm starting to get a feeling that it is another person than the Bloody Mary. We are in a new section, but the Queen of Scotland, Mary Stuart, often now called Mary Queen of Scots, was a Catholic. So Scotland had a queen, her name was Mary Stuart, and she's also called Mary Queen of Scots. I thank you very much. We will continue there in the next part, so thank you very much and attendance.